Oh my goodness, gobbledygook! It is Dolly and Sam and JJ and the SideQuest, and we are here. This right here is Sam. This right here is JJ. This right here is Dolly. Your one with 10 zeros, Lions boy, because we got 10 wins, and we're here to talk about video games on Thanksgiving Eve. How is ya? How are you guys? You is.
I was so concerned where that intro was going for a hot second.
I didn't know where I was going with this intro. It really just kind of started and it meandered, and I'm like, I'm just gonna end it. Oh goodness! So how you guys doing? It is Thanksgiving Eve. It is time to have lots of food and all the other stuff. This is actually, we're recording this on a Wednesday night. Usually I'm in Chicago. I was mentioning to the team, usually I'm in Chicago on this night, going to some AEW event, but I'm not this year. So poor Ryan Gann is going to have to go to that event without me. Although I did message him, if he's there, Ryan, if you're there, if you're listening, join us, give us a call directly from there, maybe from the backstage area. But hey, yeah, we're off tomorrow. Sam, are you actually off tomorrow? Because you always have a weird schedule.
Yes, yeah, I am actually off tomorrow. That's hey, I'll say as far as I'm aware.
Yes, Sam is also sells fireworks on the side, so maybe he'll have to be called in to sell fireworks.
I haven't done that for a number of years, but honestly, at this point, I do get contacted almost yearly from the person who organized our region, and it's like, could you please come back? You sold so many fireworks.
Suckers. Yeah, look, we already got Greg messaging. Where are you guys? Because he got the notification. And guess what? We're started, and I think we're probably going to see Greg hop in there. Other folks hop into this in this chat and hang out with us. But we're off. We've been gaming. I've been putting some Christmas lights up little by little, day by day. I like to. Usually, I start like the weekend after, or the weekend after Thanksgiving, because like I said, we're usually in Chicago. We come back. Yeah, it was my fault. Sorry, Exagenius. Sorry. He's Exagenius on the website, on the Discord at SideQuesting.com, where y'all should join us. SideQuesting.com Discord, SideQuesting TV on the socials. And I might change our Blue Sky, because Blue Sky is where it's at now. I might change our Blue Sky from SideQuesting TV to just SideQuesting.com, since we can actually do that with the domain stuff now.
Yeah. We should all just have that as our. We should just be all j.sidequesting or whatever.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's actually super, like, I'm really kind of falling in love with the stuff that Blue Sky is doing with, like, the starter packs, the lists. I have a list set up for gaming deals where it's just like Wario64, cheap ass gamer. I think Nintendo deals is on there, like one other group, and it's like, it's been bad for me the last 3 days because I just swipe over to that tab and I'm just seeing all the latest deals that these people are popping up, and I'm like, crap, okay, fine, you got me with Astrobot at $50 and I had a $50 gift card. It's a shorter week, although we haven't gotten together. I think JJ, you and I were together last week at some time, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember when, but it happened.
Yeah, it may have maybe it's Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, but we're here. There's not a ton to talk about. We're slowly leading up to the holidays, which kind of really kick off tomorrow. And it's just more of a shopping time frame. There's not a ton of news. The biggest games have all been released. There's only a couple other ones kind of sporadically popping up here and there. The rest of the way, we'll talk about some of the stuff we've been playing. And then I think after the holidays is really when stuff really takes place news-wise. But I'll be at the Game Awards in a couple weeks. It's a couple weeks here. Crap. I'll be at the Game Awards in a couple weeks. Sam, I expect you to do a drunken live stream by yourself, and I'll check in. We'll see. We'll see who else is available, and we'll set up that live stream. So I'll make sure I get that set up ahead of time. That way, someone can just hit the go button and get rocking. But it's funny because I have all right, here's a little bit too much information. I have a pretty important procedure on Monday after the Game Awards where I'm not allowed. Let's just say I'm not allowed to eat anything for like a day or two before my procedure. So I'm gonna land back home here that Friday night, and then I'm just gonna drink stuff with electrolytes in it, and it's gonna be a fun weekend, reliving stuff. But yeah, a little bit too much information. Happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you guys are hungry. What do you guys do for Thanksgiving, by the way? You guys getting together anywhere? You going anywhere? Family,
No,
just hanging
it's
out?
usually Thanksgiving's mostly always just been me, my mom, and my dad. So
That's awesome. That's like
it's
the nice, chill
yeah.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
never really had like let's do the family, the entire extended families get together.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and I basically live like 2 towns over from each other, so
Awesome.
like
Nice.
we see each other, and my
Yeah.
sister's in from Pittsburgh, so
Cool.
we'll get together, have a little dinner, play a couple board games, nothing too exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, we're usually in Chicago visiting my sister-in-law. So it's still small. It's usually only like 6 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They just had a baby, so 7 of us. But they're coming here this year because their kid's birthday is the week before, so there's no reason to kind of keep driving back and forth every week to Chicago and back. So it's just us and my wife's sister and mom, and hanging out at home. But we do have some friends coming in some family coming in from Toronto over the weekend for like a hockey tournament or something. So we might bump into them. But my wife does not like turkey. I bring this all up because my wife does not like turkey. Although last year my brother-in-law made some kick-ass turkey. She does not like turkey, so I smoked a brisket. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm gonna smoke a brisket, and it was awesome. I said it on 10 a.m. on Tuesday, about 11 a.m. on Tuesday, right before noon, and then had that sucker going until I think it petered out a couple times throughout the day, but basically till 6 o'clock this morning. And it's like just a little bit too dry. I know, Exagger Moose, you're gonna, but it's like it's good. It's not like dry or anything, but it's like I'm gonna need to have a little bit more sauce that I put in this year. I didn't have enough water, and I had in the thing, and I let it kind of run for too long. But regardless, food. It's gonna be a lot of fucking food, and I'm excited for it.
What's crazy is that, like, despite turkey always being sort of super considered to be the Thanksgiving thing, it's like it wasn't really common thing until the 50s,
right?
Like,
turkey was always a Christmas thing.
Well, and even then it was sort of A, very expensive, and B, didn't hold well.
Yeah.
So unless you went and got fresh turkey from the butcher, and even if you did, it was expensive. So like frozen turkey was impossible until like the Butterball came out in the 50s, and that's when everyone could buy a turkey. So it's
and it's also
ham is honestly more reasonable as the Thanksgiving thing. Like that's always been like the working class meat,
and like we get deli turkey every day, which is actually pretty good. But like just a sliced turkey, but having look, he's got the smoking the turkey again. I'm coming to your house. But poor turkeys, man. They're like, who was it that was writing about how, I think in the Discord, someone was talking about how turkeys are just malformed and.
That was part of the reason. Okay, so the story behind like the home turkey was just that they didn't freeze at all. It sucked all the flavor out of them. So when you unfroze it, it was bland, flavorless garbage. And so the combo that led to like the modern turkey is they bred them to have like super big meaty like breast meat, and then they would inject it with their
hormones and everything.
No, it was like butter and other seasonings and fats and things. So
while they're alive,
So like when the flash freezing process happens, it retains as much as the turkey flavor as possible.
Well, and it's wild because because they crossbred them so much in a very specific.
Yeah.
They're literally designed for
Yeah.
this time of year, and these turkeys are only like, some of them are like a couple months. They're very young turkeys, right? And the poor things, like their legs will break like all the time because they're malformed. So yeah, any less turkey we could do, the better. That being said, I went to Honey Bake Ham and got us some turkey, like a little turkey thing that was already pre-cooked, just a little turkey breast. I'm like, you know what? At least now I don't need the whole turkey. I'll leave it for the rest of the folks, because there's tradition.
The KFCs in Washington and California do deep fried turkeys that you can buy from them.
Dope.
Like,
was it? And speaking of weird, okay, we're gonna make a quick tangent before we get into the gaming stuff. I know we're all dying to hear more about holiday things. Apparently, White Castle, like one day a year, they do like a high-end premium White Castle day. You guys know about this? You hear about this? You know about this?
We don't have White Castles.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they do. Yeah, and the White Castle used to be everywhere, and they've really disappeared. But they will do like this premium restaurant style that you go there, you sit down, and you're treated. It's like I think it's like usually right around Valentine's Day, but you go and you like dress up. And like a ton of the White Castles do this, part of their thing. But yeah, you go there and they have people come out, wait on you hand and foot, but still serve you just the super onion, the onion grilled burgers that are not any good, but they're treating you as if like it's some big super fancy restaurant. So it's really funny. Candlelight dinner.
I've never had White Castle in my life.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. You're not missing that smell. That's for sure. Let's get into some gaming stuff. I'm gonna start with this is actually a really interesting thing. And JJ, you posted a picture of all your fucking portable consoles.
Yeah.
If it comes out, you're gonna buy it.
The major problem is I've been off all week, and when left to my own devices, I make bad decisions.
I love it. So JJ picked up a PlayStation Portal.
Yeah, I did.
And perfect timing. It's funny because I'm looking at one, and I'm actually really pissed because they had them like a few weeks ago. They had them on sale for like $150. Wario 64 on Blue Sky was posting about it, tweeting about it, and said, "Yeah, here, $155," because they just couldn't sell them. So now all of a sudden they allow the streaming for the folks that have the PlayStation Network PSN, which I don't have that upgraded level of streaming, but I'd like to actually play more of my PlayStation games while I'm sitting on the couch and watching something else. Man, we have become a portable gaming society. Switch, Steam Deck, mobile phones. Like sitting in front of a large TV, in front of another screen while I can't watch regular TV. It's difficult for me to play something. Look,
I'm going to talk about it instead of talking about this during the what we've been gaming section.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Yeah. It's perfect.
So I really didn't expect it to work as well as it did.
Okay.
I booted it up and I'll try the PlayStation 5 streaming thing first on it, and not a single problem with it.
Okay, cool.
I've been playing WWE 2K24 and Gran Turismo 7 streaming straight to that bad boy, and I feel no lag.
Nice.
It's running real smooth. It's running at 10. My PlayStation 5 is kind of like super next to me, so it's not that far from me, but it's way more comfortable to, like we've been saying, I just like to kick back and just sort of turn into a lump and kind of just stay there while the TV is playing a something that I've put on, and I could just sit there and play WWE or Gran Turismo or whatever Astrobot stuff on there, and like I said, no, as long as nothing else is happening, as long as there's I can have a YouTube video playing, but the PlayStation can't be downloading anything in the background because that just bottlenecks it and it becomes a slideshow. But if it's just running the game and nothing else is going on, flawless performance. I was actually I was like, wow, actually, okay, I take back some of the mean things. It's still a ridiculous idea for a device to sort of take up market space. I don't think the cloud gaming thing's all that great right now.
Okay.
Because then I booted that part up because I do have the the cloud part. It's fine. It's a little more jittery. But like I was playing Miles Morales on it, but like for 98% of the gameplay was fine. I didn't have any problems with it. So
you can get pre-owned ones right now at GameStop for like $170. So I'm like, I'm like, or 179, I guess.
Yeah. I think
and I'm like,
listen, the reality of it is that
you don't need it, but still.
I got mine from like an opened one that somebody bought for it. It was $150 for like not too much more than what they paid for it. Okay, yeah, cool. Like I didn't get the 150 deal, but I also didn't get the 200 deal either. So it so unopened, and it works great. It's like cool. It's actually cool. It feels good. It's just a PlayStation 5 controller. It's light.
Like Best Buy right now, I'm checking right. Best Buy right now has an open box for $163. So
I think
not a bad idea.
I think you'll be. I honestly think you'd be really surprised at how well the streaming from the PlayStation 5.
Cool.
Really, like for that purpose, it's really good. Like the cloud gaming thing will be really good on vacation. Especially if
depending on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, depending on the Wi-Fi sitch at your hotel or whatever. But even then, I was doing it from a hotspot from my phone to the thing, and it was working pretty good. So I mean, there's room for improvement. But overall, I'm not unhappy with my purchase. I like the second screen kind of thing. So it just lets me play my stupid dumbass wrestling game while I watch stupid dumbass wrestling on the TV. It's great.
Yeah, I'm looking at Best Buy has a couple in good condition, fair condition, excellent condition.
I would love to know what a good condition looks like from them, like what that means.
Well, it's funny because like
they're not that old. Like what was happening to this bad boy?
Fair condition works like new, may have larger dents or scratches, maybe missing parts and accessories, and that's fair. And it's 164. And
it is this thing packs nothing. You get the system. And a single USB-C to C. That's it.
And meanwhile, the excellent version, it's $168, and it says works and looks like. So for like $4 more, really all it says is you're getting a cord for those $4, and it probably looks the same as the fair condition one. So for $167, It's not a bad idea, and they have it locally at my local Best Buy.
Wow, look at you, got a local one too.
There you go. Anywho, the story that I want to get to here is that there is a supposedly a PlayStation, an actual new PlayStation handheld being worked on. This came from Bloomberg. It's reportedly years away from launch, would play PS5 games on the go. Digital games, obviously, you're not going to have a disc spinning in this sucker. They're all moving digitally anyways.
Cowards.
Cowards. I can't imagine how big this freaking hard drive is going to have to be, right? I'm going to say two things. One, it's going to have a big-ass hard drive. And two... there may be the version that may be coming out. I'm going to say it's probably at least 2 years away, right? Which is the tail end of the PS5's lifespan. The Switch 2 will already be out. It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. Excuse me, but I'd like Sony to do what Steam, what Valve does with Steam, what Nintendo does with the Switch, and say, if you're going to get a game to run on this, maybe it's a smaller version of that game, because you don't need all the graphical bells and whistles that you do on a big screen on the PS5, right? You're not gonna fit a PS5 in this. It's just the power is far too big. Let's try again. It's just too much power for something that's portable. as we've seen. But you could say, we want something that plays PS5 games up to a certain resolution. Maybe you don't have to plug this sucker in and output it. I mean, there may be a HDMI version, who knows? But maybe you don't have to do that. Maybe it really is just a portable PS5 that runs games that, I mean, you don't really need 4K on a handheld device. You barely need 1080p on a handheld device. So I can see them getting away with some concessions there and making this sort of an Xbox Series S version of the
the Portal's running those games at 1080p.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But it's also running them because it's streaming them.
Yeah,
it has no hardware. It has no like hardware or graphics.
But at the same time, like it's still running a 1080p version of the game. So
yes,
like the 1080p people. Not everyone has a 4K TV. There's still 1080p versions of these games out there.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Yep. But
so
I'd like
think,
it. Yeah.
I wish I had any sort of confidence that Sony won't figure out how to fuck this thing up in the most significant way.
The PSV, which is like the PSVR 2, which is selling for half off right now.
Yeah, or it's like if you look at the like PSP and the Vitas and stuff, like they constantly had like this like ongoing battle with publishers and developers on like what the games are, what they can and can't do, what the spec limits are, what like Sony isn't going to handle the listen. Hey, how about you guys make a PS5, PS whatever Vita 2, PS portable nonsense version, like scale it down. They're not going to do that. They're just gonna cherry pick the games that don't run on it. Won't populate in the store just like the Vita.
That's true. Yeah,
and it's just gonna like because remember like the PlayStation TV didn't play a lot of Vita games. Like there was a significant amount of Vita games that you either had to sideload onto the PlayStation TV or just wouldn't run at all. And that's what's going to happen with this handheld. It's just gonna...
I have a PlayStation TV, and I'm gonna throw that sucker up on Marketplace this weekend because there is no collector market for that thing. I thought there would be. PlayStation TV, there's no collector market. Even the Vita was beloved, but it's because of that issue. But hey, I mean, Sam, do you have a PS5? I think you have one, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And would you go for a portable PS5? And the reason I ask is, I don't know how much of your game time is portable on the Switch versus docked versus Steam Deck versus PC versus,
yeah, it would always, I feel like with something at least like, the PlayStation being a console now and it being that late in the life cycle, like to me, it would be like a secondary device.
Sure.
So like the current, Portal or whatever they want to call it is like to me is basically just a fancy remote play screen, right? And like I never I have more than enough games that if I'm going somewhere like traveling, like I have a Steam Deck or I have a Switch. So I'm not utilizing this device. So at home, like it would basically just be a way to use it like sort of like how the Wii U worked, where if the main television was taken up by something, you could use it for that. So a portable PlayStation 5 at the time that it comes out, or a portable device that can play, PlayStation 5 like games if we're already in PlayStation 6, come be this thing finally gets released. Like that, depending on like how much PlayStation games I'm actively playing or like what the back catalog looks like at that point. Because I think what Steam Deck really did successfully is kind of take those games that people were sitting on in their Steam library anyway and allowing them to be like, oh yeah, I can play this portably. Oh, okay, now I can finally get this game done, or I'll finally jump into this game because I don't have to like sit down and load it on my desktop. I think you weirdly get that too, where, you just kind of like hop on and you're like, oh, that's right. I have this downloaded on here. So I'll just like play that real quick. And then obviously all the remote and streaming play that's going on and stuff. It's just interesting that like, Sony's obviously going to make this so it works with Sony consoles. But does, something like this from Xbox, looks more like a Windows device, right? So and they have the access to like Game Pass Ultimate and stuff like that. Does this device lock itself down so it is actually just a PlayStation? or is it a portable gaming device, quote unquote? And because there's so many PC versions of games, you know, it can get onto that easier as opposed to running like actual PlayStation versions of these games. You know, who knows? I mean, right now, if you were trying to sell me a portable PS5, I have no reason for it. I don't play enough PlayStation 5 this gen games that require a PS5 that would, you know, make me want to buy a portable version of that console. But then again, the only one that I would think that does right now is somebody like Nintendo. So it's kind of weird in that regard.
It is. It doesn't go without saying that I was sitting there playing Miles Morales over the cloud stream and stuff, and like, this is good. And then you just sit there and you're like, I own this on Steam. I could just play this on the Steam Deck right now and not have any of this bullshit. I don't know what this.
Well, and I think that's the bigger thing is like for these devices to be competitive, they're going to have to be priced competitively. Yeah. And that's going to be strange, especially with the tariffs going on. You know, if you're locking these devices down to your architecture, well, now you've got to make a portable version of your OS. You've got to do like all the back end to actually make this thing set up and run it as like, you know, a locked down version of your console. And that's why we're probably hearing that it's going to take years. Like these are, you don't just wake up the next day and somebody's like, guys, you'll never believe it. I took the PS5 and shoved it in between a PlayStation 5 controller. It's nuts. That's what this, you know, the portal will have you believe. But that's, you know, as you said, this device would probably be huge. Maybe we're even waiting on the actual chipset that could power something like that at a reasonable size to be released.
Waiting for like 2 terabyte SSDs to kind of become a little more.
Well, I mean, you say that, but like just this week with Black Friday sales and stuff like that, you were talking about like 1 terabyte cards being less than $100.
Right.
Like it used to be like 126 gig cards were over $100. You were paying $1 a gigabyte for SD cards. Like every year, I feel like the pricing scheme like drops down to the deal below, right? Where it was like, you know, if 256 gigs were this on sale before, now that's 256 gig, and the next size up is that where 256 was originally. So like, you know, I'm not so much concerned with storage. Except for when you talk about something like Sony has that proprietary storage reading thing through SSDs, you know, could that be transferred to something like flash storage?
They're going to bring back those Vita memory cards for the portable.
Has anybody ever been in the film industry understands Sony loves to proprietary everything they make, including batteries. There's a whole industry that just is making copycat versions of Sony batteries, and Sony memory stick duos or converters for that type of stuff.
Geez, a memory stick duo.
Yeah, because that used to be their proprietary thing that Sony cameras and all that stuff used, not SanDisk or like SSD stuff and all that other things.
The memory stick was funny because Sony basically said, "Hey, if you guys want more, here's a memory stick which you can, gives you 4 megabytes of space. Do you want an 8 megabyte memory stick? You have to buy a whole new camera that uses memory stick duo."
Yeah. So
put those in the fucking PSP as well. That was
So I mean, I feel like this is going to be. This seems like the road they all should have towed when the Switch came out, and like everybody was like, "Oh man, this thing's doing really well, huh?" Like I feel like if they wanted to plan the handheld version of these consoles, I don't know why it was the Steam Deck showing up that made them go, "Oh shit, handheld was the answer."
But Sony has, at least a couple years away for anything, and I'd be curious what it is. And it's interesting because I'm gonna tag team that into another story here, and that is that Sony kind of launched this PlayStation history website that goes through the history of PlayStation. But it's interesting as well because it talks about I like the design aspect, by the way. It shows different PlayStation models.
Hey, let's play a game. Of those 3, which ones do I own?
All of them.
Hey, you nailed it.
It's funny because I own the first and the third here. I remember
I got the middle boy. I got that PS1 with screen and battery.
That's this one right here, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I remember when they relaunched this sucker, and it's interesting with this PlayStation Classic in that they couldn't give them away.
That thing is such a piece of shit. It's so bad.
People had to realize, oh crap, yeah, the original PlayStation controller wasn't analog. Like it just had a crosspad or whatever.
And Sony doesn't have any rights to any of the classic games, so it's like all these weird versions where it's like, well, we published it in Europe, so we get to use the European version of the game.
I think it was like 179 when it launched, and legit like 2 weeks later you could get them at Best Buy for $70.
I got mine for 20.
There you go, even at 20. Yeah. It was funny. Now it's gone back up in price, like because people couldn't find them because they sold out. But yeah, I love seeing some of this history stuff in there. But you do get to
those analog controllers.
It's called the dual.
They're so hard to find now. I've been trying to get one.
Dual analog to Dual Shock later that year. That's funny. I remember because it had the dented.
They were concave as opposed
to concave, and it was much glossier, which was just horrible. But
super light too.
Yeah, exactly. The analog sticks, always fun. But you get to the PlayStation 2. I'm gonna keep scrolling here and make your eyes hurt. So you get to the PS2, and Sony says, "Hey, by the way, we've sold 160 million of these suckers." I still have the Fat Boy right there.
Yeah.
Which now, Nintendo is now officially delaying the Switch 2 for another year, so they can beat this number. It's interesting because the PS2 launched in 2000, but it sold all the way through like 08, 09, because it was still in store shelves after the PS3, and it was selling in third world countries. In non-major markets. It was selling in countries like Brazil, which is a smaller market.
It was like how the Mega Drive kept selling well into the PlayStation 1 thing in Brazil and the Philippines and stuff, because it's.
So it's 160 million. That's good. That's the top number. So I definitely think Nintendo is probably thinking about it like, hey, I want to squeeze a little bit more out of the Switch, get that out there. But it's also funny.
There it is. There's the good boy.
Yeah. I never this Slim was so great, but the metallic Slim, holy mackerel, that one was just bad. That silvery one was just badass. Yeah. That was
such a good design all the way around. It's one of my favorite console designs ever is the Slim PS2. It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It really is just a beautiful design.
Even when you see one in person today, you're still a little baffled at how small they were able to get that back.
Again, this industrial designer over here, this and the Wii are my two favorite console designs, hands down, because they were this especially is so elegant. And still looks like that beautiful glossy strip in the middle.
No wasted space.
No wasted. It's the iPhone. Yeah. I love the stupid stand they had. It's like presenting this console to you. And it was $99. Kicking myself right now for not buying one. Kicking myself. Because again, this is another one that jacked up in price. But just a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. And I had the network adapter. I had the HD. I had bought a bunch of stuff for this thing. My first online game. Let's see. I bought the network adapter and the hard drive. I didn't have any games for it, so we just kept renting Madden and playing against people. And again, didn't have microphones at the time, so you had to call people on their regular phones, because cell phones really weren't a thing right back then yet. Anyways, back in 01, 02, 03. So we would call people and use your landline at home and talk to them while you're playing Madden, which was just the funniest thing ever. It's this is the king of all consoles. I do think the Switch will eventually beat it, because look at right now, the price, the discount price on the Switch is incredible for what you get right now.
I know 2 different people that have bought their first Switch this year. So it's it's like, oh man, like if I know 2 people, I can only imagine what the rest of
it's wild. I actually know like 2 or 3 people that have only purchased a Switch this year also.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to get one for my parents to get. I'm still pissed off Nintendo didn't sell one in the US with Switch Sports built in, because that's what I would have got for my parents. My dad loves the Switch golf stuff. He would have been playing it nonstop, and it's the only game he would have played. And maybe I'll get the Ring Fit, but that's about it. That's it. And they don't have that that type of social package that the Wii did so well with. The Switch is outsold the Wii, but yeah, I think Nintendo will break it. I'm surprised they never dropped that price down. With obviously we're talking about tariffs before the show started. That who knows if the price will ever drop now? But hey, good kudos. This was $99. This slim PS2, bonkers pricing right now. $99. $99. Man, that's awesome. I want to get I would have loved to get the Zelda Switch Lite. My daughter has a Switch Lite for $200. We bought that. $200 for a Switch Lite versus $100 for this guy. It's just nuts. And that Switch Lite hasn't gone on sale either. But
no.
Yeah, cool. Couple other little news bites here. I want to jump into. Let's move from. We briefly mentioned Nintendo there. I'm just going to move to this one real quick, and this is from last week, but towards the end of last week, and the number has grown since then. Pokemon Pocket reportedly generated $120 million since launch. It's more than that now. Obviously, it's been like 6 days since this was reported. I'm still playing this.
Yeah.
I love opening cards, even though I have all the cards. I love opening cards, and it's a nice little daily thing to open the cards and let the little number fill back up and boop, open again. And I just wish the actual 1v1 battles were quicker, because they're still a little slow. I'm waiting for people to make their adjustments, which is, I like Marvel Snap because it's very quick gameplay. You can get a Marvel Snap game against someone, a full complete match, in like 4 minutes or less. But Pokemon Pocket could take, like, I've had matches that were like 10, 12 minutes, because you can get 20 minutes per match. It's like, man, I don't need that much time. Sometimes I'm sitting there waiting for somebody to make their stupid moves. So I do wish there's that little adjustment, but opening the card packs has got it. My nephews are addicted to this game. And it's cool. It's a great idea. And they're knocking it out. And I'm gonna, I have a feeling this is gonna make a ton of money for them for the next several years as they start, introducing. I mean, I can see them introducing these card packs into, which I'm gonna open this tonight, but as new card packs in stores pop in, which are every 3 months, 4 months, something like that, like 2-3 times a year, you get major card packs. I can see those in Pocket like very easily coinciding with that. And just incredible the amount of money that Pokemon's going to make and continue make off this. So, have either of you guys spent any money on this?
No, I did the free trial of the premium thing, and then I haven't spent any out of pocket.
Same here.
Was there an introductory it's hard to remember. Some games do that $2 introductory deal, and I don't know.
I didn't.
If they did, I might have, but I don't think so.
I haven't spent any money or done the 2-week free trial thing that they give you yet. I've been waiting to do that until, I assume, because as you mentioned, hopefully they're going to start rolling out new cards and potentially cards based on the card packs that they're releasing currently. And one of the card packs coming up is basically an EV evolution set. So sort of banking that they introduce that into the card mobile game at the same time. And then I'll do my 2-week free trial thing when they utilize
my
those
Charmeleon. Yeah. Yep. I think that's what It's a very smart way to do it. Yeah, I'm definitely tempted to do the same thing. I have not spent any money. I do like doing the wonder picks. I could see myself if I was a hardcore Pokemon aficionado, which I'm not. I could see myself do the subscription to that. I know people who have spent money and bought the gold, and then I know people who've done I think there's like a gold subscription thing, but it's a very smart. It's a smart system so far. It's still basic, but I think it'll get up there. Anyways, that's a crap ton of money in the month or whatever that it's been available. The 3 weeks it's been available. So
it's interesting that this seems to be like weirdly the major Pokemon release for this year.
Yeah.
I mean, like technically they did the DLCs. Did they do both of them or just one this year? I forget when
just
the
one. I think it was the very
released.
beginning of the year.
So they've done like those DLCs, and obviously Pokemon has had its anniversaries as of late. But I was like kind of having a conversation with somebody about Pokemon, and they're a big Pokemon Go player. But that's like it. Like that's why they're into Pokemon. And like obviously, well, I say obviously, but they grew up the same generation I did. So when they were kids, they played Red and Blue, and then was into the Pokemon cards as everybody was of that age at that time, who was like a nerd. But like then he of course fell off Pokemon. Pokemon's gone years past him, but he travels a lot. So Pokemon Go is like basically to him like a traveling game, but there's Pokemon involved in it. So it's like, yeah, you should download the Pocket Game. And he goes, absolutely not. That's not Pokemon to me. And I was like, I'd argue that it's like the Pokemon, like that it is like it is what Pokemon is at its heart. It's a card game. And he goes, yeah, but they're just like cute little guys running around on my screen. Like I get them when I go to different places. Like I don't need like artwork of them. I've got like a 3D version of them. So like it's Pokemon to me is like gotten so weird now. Like, and this is the most normal Pokemon thing we've seen. But at the same time, like I saw an advertisement for Pokemon Unite, which is that MOBA like game that they have too. That there are so many different Pokemon experiences at this point that all utilize the same characters, but in like vastly different ways that you can be into Pokemon without being into Pokemon, which is like the wildest thing. And honestly, 120 million since launch at like what the first week or two of whenever this like report was, that seems almost late to me. It almost seems like they should have made like way more money. Well, I could be wrong. That could be great money in mobile games. I'm not sure, but Pokemon is just like unstoppable. Like I think it used to be the thing. Do kids recognize Mickey Mouse or Pikachu more? I think the answer is clearly Pikachu at this point.
It is in my opinion, and it's the most not just my opinion, it is the most varied, like you're saying, it's the most varied gaming IP out there right now, right? Yeah, Mario does the 2D side scrolling and it has Mario Party and it does like Mario Sports, but they're all tied to the Switch and that's basically it. This has the card game, the physical card game, the digital. It has Pokemon Go, which is not a typical game. It has the live in-person events. It's likely, I think it's the biggest gaming IP right now because it really is the easiest to get into, and that's why they're just constantly making money. But I've had Pokemon games in the past. I'd never completed a Pokemon game until I started playing Pokemon Go and got furiously addicted to Pokemon Go, and that got me to play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee on the Switch when that came out. That was the very first Pokemon game I had ever completed from start to finish. And since then, I've completed every Pokemon, like mainline Pokemon game that's come out or remake because of Pokemon Go. So I can relate to that. I mean, this is Pokemon's still a monster. They're doing a pretty damn good job of it. So good for them.
I went on a journey a little while ago where I was like, I tried to go back to as close to Pokemon as I could in like old Nintendo powers to see to watch Pokemon evolve, and it's kind of amazing how belittling they almost were to Pokemon at the very beginning of its like as pocket monsters, and like this crazy thing from Japan is set to make its debut here in America, and then like within 2 months, half the magazine is dedicated to information about this upcoming game that's going. It's wild. It's so crazy to watch it evolve in like a matter of months.
I still remember the infamous epileptic seizure warning thing for the strobing lights with the one episode of Pokemon that they warned everybody about in the 90s.
Never came to America.
Yeah.
It was and it was a Porygon centric episode.
And last little bit of news, there wasn't a ton. I mean, there are like little things here and there. Again, I would have liked to have Zach on here to discuss Final Fantasy 14 going to mobile, but we're talking about hardware a lot, and this is the latest little bit of hardware, which is there's a new Steam controller coming out, and it leaked via the Steam VR drivers, because the Steam VR controllers are also getting updated, so it's the drivers have sort of leaked everything. I'm going to guess this is going to be arriving very soon.
This looks like they tried to rip off a Neo S, like a
weird way. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So somebody found the drivers there. You got the analog sticks up here now, and you have the touch pads down here. They're still trying to get those touch pads to work like the Steam Deck.
The cheeks with a little uwu mouth.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really
exactly.
what's going on.
Perfect.
It does look like it's like cool.
It's very surprised. I have the previous gen Steam controller.
That's a very interesting controller because it really works, but it feels bad.
Yeah, I got it for free. I think they were like giving these.
They were giving them away. They were giving them
a controller
they
and
were doing them for $5 at one point.
Yeah, and the Steam Link. They were just like, here you go. You want it? Add it to your cart. The next time you buy a game, we'll just ship it out to you.
Yep. And I got it, and I have both of those. And I can't use them anywhere for anything really, but I mean, I'm. Whatever, it's a controller. I'm perfectly happy using my Xbox or PlayStation controller with this device, or my cracked my CRKD controllers with my PC gaming. But it's a new thing. It's just interesting how it leaks. All these things always leak through data mines of like firmware or driver stuff that they have to put out before these things launch. So happens with iOS all the time. It happens with the Pokemon Pocket. They data mined the latest data and found the EV stuff that was coming. So, and now you got this. But anyway, that was interesting. Let's get into actual games. We got a little bit of time left here. I want to hear what games you guys are playing, if you're playing anything. Sam, what are you playing lately, dude?
Well, I mean, I've been dabbling with a couple of things like here and there. Been very work centric as of late, as we get into the crossover of fall sports into winter sports season. So haven't had a lot of time. Been playing some more of that parking garage rally circuit. Getting a couple more times. They have now added split screen multiplayer to that game.
Okay.
So now you can race all your friends both locally and I believe online. God, cannot confirm online, but for sure locally. You can race online, but I don't know if you can do like split screen like stuff. But so been playing some of that. Been playing some of Shapes too. I don't know if you guys know.
No,
I played a lot of the original Shapes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so Shapes and Shapes 2 is basically a game where you are mining and then manufacturing shapes. And it could be something as easy as like a gray square or like a gray semicircle, or it could be something like a gray circle stacked on top of a green square. And you basically have to come up with ways to generate these things and automate the process of generating these things and then mixing them together. And then some goals are milestones, so like ones that you'll set up and you'll keep around forever. and then others are little tasks, and the more you complete, the more like research points you get, allows you to unlock different things and makes your task way easier. So it's basically like an automation game in the same way of like Satisfactory or like Factorio. But it's like casual. You're not fighting against anything. You're not trying to stay alive. It's just like time. It's just whatever time you invest into it and like how efficient you can make it to generate those things. So it's fun. It's a very nice, like sort of like kind of soothing. Oh, I'm going to set up this. Okay, cool. I've done this. All right, I'll just quit. And then when I log back in the next time I'm working on something else, it's generating those parts that I need. So that's been fun. And then just today, I got to try some of Mario Party Jamboree.
Okay. Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Because my family is in town. So everybody
no friends of mine, just
no friends of mine, not after playing Mario Party. But we got an hour or so of Mario Party in, and we didn't play the main like board games, but I will say, we tend to play games with older family members during Thanksgivings and stuff like that. So my mom, not exactly the capital V video gamer out there. So Galaga, top performer in that, but that's about the last game she played a lot of. So a lot of those like rhythm based and like movement based games are actually like pretty good for her, because it's like, do this motion and do this motion on beat. Okay, well, she played an instrument. She understands how rhythm works. So like some of those games are nice. And I think that, just exploring it within that hour, like we never played an actual board game or just went to like the mini game generator. There's enough like sort of experiences to hop around and do things. There's motion based things. I did see, and I saw in some of the overview stuff that there's like a 20-man like battle royal style thing you can play online.
Yeah,
and then also like an 8-player versus Bowser mode or something like that. So there seems like there's a lot of different options than just the board game.
There's like a whole rhythm section, the rhythm kitchen.
So we actually, the family loved a bit of Rhythm Kitchen. We probably played too much Rhythm Kitchen. And they're just like rhythm based games that are like food based, right? So like one of them was like you were like getting skewers ready for a barbecue. So they were like spitting different ingredients at you, and the onions came at a certain tempo and the like meat came at a different tempo and stuff like that. And different musical patterns and stuff. And we didn't play anything that was overly complicated. I did see there was like a challenge or an intense mode. Forget what I called it, but like something harder for sure. But great. Mario Party continues to be a great experience for 4 players. Tomorrow we're going to actually play one of the board games. And I saw they have like a GP circuit board in that game, so we'll probably be playing that one or the mall. My sister seemed really excited about the mall when it came up in the preview.
Nicely designed, actually.
So we might be playing some GP circuit and mall stuff tomorrow. But that's been pretty much it. I'm not sure if I mentioned on the show or previously that been trying to get through some Metaphora, but I've played like maybe like 2 full days in the course of like a month, right? It's been my metaphoring time has been slow, because that's something I want to actually read and understand and like process as I'm playing, and like playing it for like an hour and a half bleary-eyed before I go to sleep is not the time I'm looking to play. I'm looking to read my soaps, you know what I mean? So it's been that, and of course, I guess the only other thing is I have been jumping on Overwatch Classic in the last like little bit. I'm a sucker who loves to be marketed to, and if you're gonna tell me I'm gonna get old Diva, I'm gonna take the opportunity to play as her, even though they screwed it up, but I'll forgive them for that. Turns out Overwatch was a good game, and they never should have killed it.
It's amazing how they just shot themselves in their own foot with
You know how like your parents are like, you know, they come home one day and they find your dog or your hamster dead, and they're like, oh, you know, here's Sparky's cousin, like Stevie or whatever, and
Yes.
it's like a completely different dog or whatever, and you have to live with that. That's a lot like what Overwatch 2 was, at least for me. I don't know how the rest of the Overwatch community felt
Mm.
about it.
No, it was
And
pretty
and
universally, yeah.
and now it's like, okay, you've accepted that your dog died, like, and that you got a different dog, right? You've grown past the age where you understand what's happened, and now all of a sudden your parents have brought that dog back in, and it's like, hey, remember Sparky? And you're like, why are there missing pieces of him, and why does he look kind of weird? It's like, he's the same dog. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
It's just, yeah.
The cemetery was spelt with an S. That's all. It's
Look, he still has all the same maps and all the same characters, but shouldn't he have more now? No. But hey, Overwatch 1 was a lot of fun, and Overwatch Classic has been a lot of fun. They have suckered my group into at least playing a little bit of modern Overwatch 2. You got one battle pass out of a group of 5 out of us because they really wanted the Toblerone skin that you can't even use in classic mode. So I guess it was successful. Can't wait until, like, much like Fortnite, I see OG classic mode or whatever in Overwatch at all times, and all of a sudden I now have an Overwatch battle pass I have to complete monthly.
Cool. JJ, what are you playing, bud?
I played a little bit of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Are you able to get online?
Yeah, it's finally able to play that bad boy. It's just a chill game.
Were the skies full, or what's going on?
Everything, they made it so pretty much the bulk of the game is streaming from the cloud.
Boy.
So day one, everyone was trying to access it because it's a Game Pass game, and the game just couldn't fucking handle it, man. It just imploded on itself. So inside baseball, my dad goes to like he's a truck driver, and one of the stops that he has to do is usually landfills. And sometimes it gets a little, you get to peek around in there, see what kind of cool tech you got. I got, not that long ago, he brought home an entire Wii system still in its box.
Amazing.
With the Wii balance pad and Wii Sports. It was clearly an old person's Wii because that's all it was there. All that was on the save hard drive was Wii Sports stuff. So now I've got this like pristine Wii just kind of sitting there. But he also found a SideTech like X52 Pro flight stick. So I had to dig around and find the missing cable, and I got it. So I've been playing Flight Simulator with a flight stick, and it's been quite the enjoyable experience. I've been enjoying that.
So this Flight Simulator has like missions and like guided experiences, right?
Yeah, it's got like, there's like a photographer mode, aerial photography mode. There's like a career mode where you have to like get your pilot's license, and then just like that's a little bit of everything. And it's got some absolutely upsetting AI voices for all of the characters. I don't like it. You can tell
they're not like AI generated, are they?
The voices are, yeah. You can tell the voices because they even said my username. They're like, "Oh, hey, the Double J, how you doing?" I was like, "Oh, you're AI, aren't you?"
That's the thing that's like really like immediately you want to get me thrown out of like enjoying the situation or whatever, where it's like, "Oh, thank you for joining us," endless or like whatever you like.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed this flying experience, Buttslayer420.
Yeah. Except it's slightly more upsetting now because the AI just kind of seamlessly does it. So so it's now, instead of like, "Oh well, so here's how you'll get your air license, Buttslayer32. It's time to,
It already freaks my wife out enough when Forza refers to me as Sam. Like I can't imagine saying my like
that's
full
my favorite.
ass guy. Christian username is going to be a good experience for anybody.
It's incredibly weird because like the WWE games let you like if you create yourself, you get like lists of names, and it's just like
right.
I can just have them call me JJ, and it does, and I hate it.
Yeah,
actually,
that's the thing. It's like I can always get Sam or like Sammy, but I always choose like stuff like it's like the Ace, like or whatever. It's the Joker.
Oh yeah,
always
I think I think in WWE they call me like the Southern Dandy, despite being from Washington State or whatever. I think in Forza they call me Princess or something. I forget. I've chose the goofiest thing possible.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that about.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that about Flight Simulator though, because the last time I checked out like the one that came out on this generation, but it was like early on. I think they just called it Microsoft Flight Simulator. Simulator. They didn't attach the name or a number. Like I remember it was like cool because it's like, oh, okay, like you can fly to like out of and to any airport that exists, and you can check out the thing, and it streams those textures. So if you have decent internet, like it's pulling satellite imagery and all this stuff, and you do the thing where you fly over your hometown, or you fly over like New York City, or you fly over some location you've been to before. And you're like, that's cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's okay if I'm coming. If I was leaving Philadelphia and going to New York, this is the path you take, and this is the stuff you'd see. Cool. And then you're like, okay, cool, I've done that. And then it'd be like, yeah, but you can do it in like this plane now, and it's like, yeah, but I've done it. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, you could get your license, but then that was it. I couldn't do a like rescue operation, or like I couldn't work for FedEx and deliver like some packages across the country.
To combine airport or Microsoft Flight Simulator with Euro Truck Simulator would just be the dream, wouldn't it?
Oh God, yeah, that'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Euro Flight Simulator.
Dude.
TM.
They had that flight simulator game, by the way, that where you were a passenger, the airport sim.
There's that one, that Raw Dog one too, where it's just
where you just sit there and stare.
That's the one that I played. Yeah, that's the one I played. That one you just sit and you're staring at the back of
the headrest.
The back of the headrest, and you can someone will come by and order food, and it's literally like an 8-hour flight, and you just kind of enjoy it. And it's
Desert
bus topic. The last 2 times I've been on planes, I've watched different Cars movies. I watched Cars 2 on one flight, and then Cars 3 on the next one. It was nuts.
Cars 2, the one that's for whatever reason a spy
movie. Yeah. And the third one, Lewis Hamilton's in it.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I watched all of the second one being like, when does Lewis Hamilton show up? He shows up in the third one.
Also, I've still been playing that stinking Tetris forever, and have become a bombless like disciple. Bombless is a great game. I never remembered playing Bombless until this came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this game, and now I'm like, oh wait, I only kind of remember this game's addictive, man.
Bombless.
What is that?
It's sort of this. It's the closest to like a true sequel to Tetris that they've ever really done. You're
but that's like I don't understand what that means, because Balatro is like a sequel to poker.
Yeah, well, it functions exactly the same as Tetris mechanically. You have the same blocks. You're flipping them. You create things, but then the blocks have like little red spots on them, and if you line them up right, you can create an explosion chain.
And
I'll play a video of it so you can see what it looks like.
And so like
I don't know what that logo was, but that was the sickest thing I've ever seen.
That is
that's like cat.
No, that's Bulletproof Software. They're like the Tetris developers. They're the ones that made the Game Boy one and every other one. Anyway, so you're trying to create
bombless.
You're trying to create chains and clearing the board completely with these explosions. And like you can create sort of super explosions if you can get 4 of those red spots to touch one another. And
so you're not clearing full lines if you're making a Tetris.
Yeah, you can make clear full lines, but if you've only got like 1 or 2, see, now it's created a super explosion.
Bomb. That's the super bombless.
Yeah. So it's see,
kind
and now you chain them
what
together.
In the world?
You want to clear the goal is to clear the entire board. The game, the level ends when you clear the entire board. So you're trying to chain or creating as many big explosions as you can to cause that. And they'll do it here.
There they go. They did
It seems it seems stupid, but then you start playing it and you start like you get that Tetris effect where you start seeing the before the bricks even land, like the chain reaction or the future chain reaction you're going to set up.
What is coming in to pump up like the bomb?
What do you mean?
It just looks like when it stacks to make the bomb bigger into a bigger bomb, like there's like a little animation. What in the world is that?
Just a little animation, man. These Rush.
Watch.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. They're just wily, man. They're
like
lawless.
A bellow or something comes in and makes it a bigger bomb.
Yeah.
Looping it.
It's as if it's trying to encase it, like encases itself.
Yeah.
Like it's like some Iron Man-esque nano machines. Just kind
that's
of
a Super Nintendo ass looking game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's got like 4 or 5 different versions of Bombliss on this fucking collection too. God, it's
This is the first I'm ever hearing about it, so knowing there's multiple versions seems insane to me.
Yeah. Most of this Tetris Forever set also mostly consists of games that were never released in America. So
I've got to get it. It's on my wish list for the rest of this year.
And the last thing I'll talk about is that they've updated the Prince of Persia roguelike game.
Oh, yeah.
Recently.
No longer purple.
The rogue Prince of Persia. So yeah, he's no longer purple, which is like a major selling point in this update, despite the fact that they've added like a whole new sector.
He's no longer purple?
He was purple.
Yeah, he was purple in the original. They gave him like weird purple skin, like the shading
for some reason. Yeah,
like they wanted
in the roguelike game.
Yeah, in the Rogue Prince of Persia, he was purple initially.
That was the second Prince of Persia game in like 6 months to come out.
Yeah, it's still in early access. It's in early access still, so it's not
okay. Then we must be talking about a different game. I thought you were talking about the roguelike, the one that's that's a
Metroidvania.
That's a Metroidvania-like.
Okay, it's all right. All right. You know what? It's stupid. Why don't we just use their names? How about that? How about that, games industry?
Yeah.
Look my cat dead in the mouth and tell me that you think it's smart that we keep using titles that don't make any friggin' sense for any of it.
At least the roguelike Prince of Persia is called the Rogue Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
So
well, that doesn't help my dumbass that doesn't know that the Rogue Prince of Persia is a real thing and not a roguelike Prince of Persia that you're just making up and I'm misunderstanding with the Metroidvania.
Amazing.
I forget what the Metroidvania one was called. Something with crown in the title, right?
Yeah, the Crown of Prince, the Crown Prince of Persia,
the Crown Prince of Crime Persia,
Clown Prince. Thank you, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
No, go make a Mario and Rugrats game or whatever. Rabbits.
But to be
fair, Lost Crown, by the way, was the Lost Crown. Yeah.
Lost Crown, yeah. To be fair, the Rogue Prince of Persia is the Rogue Prince of Persia is very French animation inspired. So like Klasky Chupo kind of nonsense is particularly fair.
I was waiting for the Googler to show up me
the Googler
footage.
The Googler.
Oh, you want to see it?
Well, no, I gotta search it.
Oh, you get it? Okay. If you don't, I'll post it right now.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do. I do remember seeing this.
Okay.
These images before. So he was purple, and that made people not happy.
Yeah. I don't think anyone even really super complained. They thought it was weird, but the game wasn't super popular. But they came back and it's like, hey, like we were working on the game and realized that tonally this looks ridiculous. So we just made him a normal guy now. Keep in mind, this is the Dead Cells guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, I was just about to say that. 1, this is early access, and 2, this is Dead Cells.
Yes, it's good.
Okay.
It's a good game. It's early access still. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun Prince of Persia. It's really fluid. It has a lot of fun. Like there's wall running and like swinging and stuff. That's like you don't see out of like hand-drawn animated stuff too often.
Yeah, they finally showed the gameplay over this way.
Yeah. I'm assuming they made him purple to sort of make him look slightly more ethnic. I don't know what their plan was, but
I mean, it could also be
weird.
just to kind of stand out a little bit because
Yeah.
they're using a lot
Make
of
him
like
pop,
earth tone. Yeah, just make him
Make him
pop.
pop. Make it very clear that he's
Yeah.
But no, he moves good. He's got some cool attacks. I like that you can kick enemies into shielded enemies to break their shield and then like throw shit and fight them instead. They do some cool stuff. It's a cool game. Cool. It's fun to play. It's like I said, it's the original early access. Purple Prince was like up to
Purple
the first
Rain.
Yeah, they should have recalled it. They should have renamed it the Purple Prince and made
Paisley.
people just freak out.
Yeah,
okay, Stefan, we do not need this. We do not need this mixing Sands of Time and 2008 reboot. We need a whole new idea. The 2008 reboot was cool for what it was. Just need a whole new style.
Hey, Sands of Time is so good. They've been trying to remake it for like 12 years, right?
Yeah. And like when they finally the best Prince of Persia game was the Lost Crown. Like it's the one that just came out.
It really
like,
is. Yeah.
It's the best Prince of Persia game since like Sands of Time. Like so it's
cool.
The second best Prince of Persia is the one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think we should call it the second best Prince of Persia. I think that'd be a great name for a game. The second best Prince of Persia.
I think the thing that really drives a lot of that of like Prince of Persia like really being in people's minds is that game was like marketed to like hell and back when like it was being released on PS2. Like even on like not just like X-Play and all that other like Tech TV and all that stuff, like it was everywhere. And I feel like a lot of times like with games like that, it's like those games are like perfectly fine, like PlayStation 2 original Xbox era games, but like if you go back and play them now, like that concept has been done 1,000 times better in like modern times. Like like you don't have the rewind, but now games don't punish you and make you go back 45 minutes for missing one jump like they used to. I mean,
let's be honest, they just turned Prince of Persia into Assassin's Creed. Yeah. I mean, that's what because to me, like as much as I like Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, it wasn't the Prince of Persia. Like I loved those original Prince of Persia games, but it was all based on like the motion and animation and the sort of like puzzle solving of the map itself in the original games and stuff like the original two side-scrolling Jordan Mechner Prince of Persia games were like unique, and they stayed out and they still stand out. But like Sands of Time is almost nothing like what Prince of Persia was. Like I don't know. That's why I like the Lost Crown. It's like it's good. It's like it's a 2D side scrolling. It feels closer to Prince of Persia classic than Sands of Time. Or Sands of Time just evolved into where they met its peak at Assassin's Creed 2. Like that
was second best Prince of Persia.
Assassin's Creed 2, second best Prince of Persia.
So I've been finishing up Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And it's just a lovely, it's a cozy Zelda game with great puzzles, and they managed to get, we talked about before, but they managed to get the Breath of the Wild, just fuck around and find out of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom into this game.
It's also funny.
It's great writing. Yeah. I have managed to complete so many areas without knowing. Like there's a section when you're in the mountain where they have like the streaming vents that you're supposed to grab a flying animal you have or something, and so you can hop in those vents and fly across. I didn't even know I could do that. I mean, I somehow like hacked my way to drop the boulders in the water, and I'd hop on one, and I'd just make it to drop the next one over and hop on that one. I just kind of made my way all the way across the lava. Yeah, you can approach the puzzles in that way.
It's cool too because
really fun to do.
The game won't sequence break either, which is like which is like it's so funny that you can just kind of get up on the canopies of the trees and just really ruin the experience in a lot of ways. But
that was, again, I mentioned before, that's the very first thing I did in this game, and I learned that from Tears of the Kingdom actually, and that was towards tail end of Breath of the Wild, was to just try to get to everywhere and try to find ways to get to everywhere. I thought I would sequence break in this game. No, you're right. You can't. It's like they're like, yeah, go ahead, try to get on top of this mountain. Go ahead, whatever. If you can get there, get there. You still can't unlock it because you need to. The switch has to flip so you can go inside and activate this. But yeah, go ahead, try it. Whatever. Cool, great game. So it's just lovely. I'm just about done with it. And then I'm gonna hop.
It's got a cool finale.
Okay, cool. I like the character. The end boss, which is great. It is the Venom villain. But and I've been playing Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, also pretty phenomenal. And I started dabbling in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm gonna try to get a bunch of these, like the smallest RPG in Echoes of Wisdom and all the way through to like Xenoblade. But then I'm gonna hop into I gotta hop back into Final Fantasy VII Remake. My goal is to knock that out because Rebirth is like on sale for $30, and Astrobot it's only $10 off in some places, so I'm kind of tempted to go that route, but we'll see.
Clear out the space on the old PlayStation because like that's Final Fantasy VII Remake is like 150 gigs.
Everything. Well, it's funny because I played a big chunk of it and then I deleted it when I had other stuff come in. I had some review things to play on that and I had some other things to do, and so I had to delete everything off of there. And now I'm like, okay, that stuff's cleared out. I got to load this sucker back up. And granted, it's on disc, but then I got rid of the disc version, and I just said I'm just gonna download the actual PS5 version that that you can get to the thing. So, I've been dabbling some stuff there, and also Balatro. Obviously, can't stop playing Balatro. It's gonna be up there for me. Finally, I'm gonna open up a card pack. These are the latest Pokemon cards. There's a Surging Sparks.
Also, in case while he's doing this, in case anyone's curious, Hollow Cure, the HoloLive Vampire Survivors, recently updated to include more non-Vampire Survivor gameplay, more farming, more gambling. There's a Jump King game in it. It's great. Enjoy it.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this.
None of the stores near me have that. I've been trying to find those packs.
Surging Sparks? They've sold out really quick.
Yeah.
The first time I saw them was this week, maybe.
Okay.
Tried to get a pack the other day. That's why I have that.
Hands in the thing. Okay.
I'm skipping this pack just because that evolution thing is coming. The next one after this.
All right, so I got my Pokemon Live code here. All right, ready?
Yeah, this will be your fancy card.
Yeah, okay, well, then we'll go at the bottom. We go at the bottom then.
Yeah.
So I can lead up.
Like, we can't see that, man.
There you go.
Make yourself bigger, dude.
Make myself bigger.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be the main screen out here?
Yeah,
nope. So close.
Smart idea. Damn, here we go.
A bird.
It is Wattrell. I've never seen Watch, never heard of it. It's cute, like gull looking thing.
Okay, there's energy. Yeah. So this card should be your rare.
You're going from the back again, you monster.
Oh shoot, you're right. Excadrill.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. This weird mole guy, right?
It's the Megalon has the two. The two drills. That's Excadrill.
I can't think what the Pokemon is. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that
Waxwell?
And I got this dude. I got Morlull, which is
yeah. Okay.
It's another shroom. Okay, I've got a few cards left here. Yeah, I got a Babiri Berry. Wow, I have never had this card before. Babiri Berry.
This will either be a rare insert or you got a handful more. Yeah,
I got 5 more. So
got a lot more. So Executor.
Here. 4 left.
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
Iron Bundle. Is that a reverse hollow? What is going on there?
It's just designed weird. It says future on it, so whatever that means.
Okay. Yeah, God, I still don't understand how that gimmick works in Pokemon TCG.
Okay, 3 left. 3 left.
Okay.
They get better every time, right?
That's true.
Oh, potentially.
You got a fancy boy.
Yeah, I like that one. It is a Scramble Switch. That's
Okay,
what the
it's got
Switch
that.
2 is going to be called, the Scramble Switch.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
got
very
that.
nice. Look at this doing to the camera. That's kind of
It's got
bad.
that. It's got that.
that's a nice
It's got the
prism.
prism hollow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
If you guys want to
That's
buy
a
this,
rookie
help me
card
pay for
that'll
my
go for a little bit.
PlayStation.
Yeah,
Yeah. If it's a help go for the PlayStation Portal, please feel free to let me know. I'll sell it.
yeah.
And I got 2 cards left. And
Yeah,
this
reverse hollow.
is...
Reverse hollow,
Yeah,
probably.
Armor Rouge.
Yeah. Dipshit. Oh, yeah.
And then the last card,
It's gonna be garbage.
it'll be garbage, yeah.
You too.
Yeah, garbage.
Let's go. Yeah, I like that. That dope Scramble Switch one is nice. It's got like a cool texture.
Yeah, it's a
to
good.
it,
It's a
too.
good. Yeah, they've been doing some fun stuff.
Yeah, keep feeling it up to destroy the value. Keep
Yeah,
doing
really rub your fingernails across the surface. Really, really.
I
Well, now
love
I'm gonna
what
check. Yeah,
I love what PAX East did to all of us, which is
Yeah.
apparently get us back into playing Pokemon cards.
it did. It really did. Yeah. That was pretty fun at PAX East.
That's the problem. I'm sitting right in front of me. I'm gonna let you know that I have not collected cards of any kind
Okay.
since childhood, and by that I was bought Pokemon
Me
cards
too,
because you hear that they like Pokemon, and there was like 4 things you could buy, and they weren't getting the games. In front of me, I have what is now a Bloomborough Magic the Gathering box.
Oh yeah,
That is holding the current 151 packs that me and my wife are opening.
Nice.
Nice.
The One Piece card packs me and my wife are
Yeah.
opening. And the
Sweet.
Bloomborough packs that were in the deck box that is what I bought right in front of
I
us.
like.
So,
I like that I could hear the box being opened.
yes,
it
yeah.
activated a primal.
I went
sense.
from having no cards to now I have like 2 or 3 binders, and it's
Well-
it's bad.
Everyone, Dally will be uploading shortly a new me tearing open a box of
Yep.
Alan and Gintner baseball cards. Which, if you haven't seen what those cards are, oh boy, tune into this video. They are wild.
So just as a preview, I believe these are the cards where you can get not pop icons, but maybe like social icons, I would say. Maybe
that's part of it. There are pop icons. A previous pack that I got had a Travis Scott card in it.
Dope.
And not just that, there's other
Hey, hello, Mike.
There are other not people cards in these too. So.
Yes, I believe there's a hot dog card, a jet ski card.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There's plenty of variety in there.
I love Alan and get their baseball cards, and I opened a whole box and I sent the video to Dally, and it is a journey.
Love it. Love it. By the way, that card that special one, the Switch is the 90 cents. So there you go.
Look at you go.
Look at me go. All right, friends. Well, that is it. We got a little over an hour of just kind of BSing around. I like it. It's good. It's always fun.
I'm thankful for all of you guys.
Yes, we are thankful for all of you
for the time spent together.
Yes, as always. I love chatting with my friends here because we really just we do these podcasts again because we're just kind of bored and lonely, and it's just like that with friends. It really is just like, hey,
we're sad old men, and we just
need to hang out. Yeah. Oh, look at that! Congratulations! We are breaking the news to all 8 of our viewers. Mike Bowen just announced. That's cool. Congratulations. Might I suggest Dolly, JJ, or Sam as names if you know it's going to be a boy or girl? Actually, our names work with both. So male or female. Perfect. Yeah. That's awesome news. Congratulations. You're getting a lot of congrats here. People are saying it in the chat. You can find us SideQuesting.com. Please hop onto the site. Hop into the Discord. Everybody's so awesome. Except for Stefan. Stefan is trying to sell his name as a baby name. No, just kidding. Everyone's really cool in the Discord. Today is the last day to get into the Secret Santa. So if you can, because the names get drawn tomorrow, I believe. I
just got an email about it, and it said, like, at 5:58, it says, in just 2 days, names will be drawn. So,
names are drawn. Okay, well then it is names will be drawn Friday. Yeah, Friday, 12 a.m. probably. Who knows? I know a guy. The running joke. I know a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, sidequesting.com into the Discord, SideQuesting TV on the socials. We're going to switch over to Blue Sky to sidequesting.com. We're going to get the Patreon up in the next day or so. It is done. It's complete. I'm just linking stuff to the Discord. So you guys have some cool things set up there. You guys are going to love the tiers. And you can find us individually. I don't have my link anywhere, but this is great. Perfect. Well done. Yeah, and Mike, okay, excellent. Cool.
Unreal.
Very good. We'll see you on the next episode of the SideQuest. Team SideQuesting out. I'm trying to do this